Welcome back to... Wait, what are we welcoming back to?
Sweet Talks.
Welcome back to Untapped Potential of a Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Sasha, and
I'm Trey.
This is my husband, Trey. We're going to go ahead and get into part 2 of Sweet Talks with the Earnest.
Dos.
And he's trying to convince me to give him this cupcake that's sitting over here, but I'm like, we're trying to record right now. So after we wrap this one up.
Sweet Talks, and we had cupcakes the last time.
Yeah, we're going to continue eating this cupcake. So, what was your happiest moment or happiest time in marriage?
So it's gonna sound
Love
bad.
and happiness.
May 26, 2012 until May 10th, 2013.
May 10th, 2013. Why 10th?
That's when I lost my job at LG. So I'm saying, like, my favorite time was the day we got married until the day I lost my job. Because then for like 5 months, well, a month, trying to get a job.
That was your happiest year in marriage? Seriously?
Yeah, well, we had no kids. we got to really like just be us. Like, I mean, it was still kind of like almost like a dating phase almost, right? So like we were married, but it was just us. So we can go to work, we come back, we can go out. I would just pop up at the salon and be like, hey, what you doing? Let's
I got pregnant 6 months into our first year of marriage. I just want to know how much going out were we doing? What do you even mean?
I don't know.
What does it even mean?
I don't know. It's just like because every time we get breaks, like it's just like it's heaven when we get breaks.
We have 3 kids. We have 3 little boys.
We got a lot of them. And
so
they're crazy.
It is. I mean, I see what he said. That's just a... Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let me get to it. The year before we moved to Raleigh.
The year before we moved to Raleigh, I was closing the shop down.
You were going to school.
I was going to school.
The reason I liked that year...
We didn't even travel that year.
We didn't have to travel that year though.
Okay, go ahead.
But we were fresh out of the funk though. Really good. So like communication was better. We were hanging out. Like I felt like I had my friend back, but then I also still had my wife. Jack was getting in that age where he was kind of getting really kind of independent. We moved back in with Sasha's mom. We were about to leave and stuff, and so we
were paying down debt like crazy. Yes. Like we have really supportive parents. I mean, just super supportive parents. We pray one day. Can we just be like half as good as them? Like seriously.
It's a quarter.
So we moved in with my mom to pay off debt because we were following the Dave Ramsey method at that time. That's a different story now, but we're working on it. And so we thought we were doing some things.
Man, we got a car.
After we said we were
didn't really line up with the whole Dave Ramsey thing, but yes, we got a car.
Just dumb decisions.
But the whip though, it was nice. Nice.
Okay, now I see why you would come back and say that was your favorite year.
So work was okay that year, but I got a new job. We got a huge increase in pay, and so it was just
for that time. Life has
so peep that right. Yeah, so that was the thing too. Like I was like, oh my god, look what we got, and that's not even pennies to what it. So yeah, this life changing. We still had help.
We had our parents.
So like if we just wanted to dip that night, it was cool to be like, go. And we could hang out and come back, and then like stuff on the weekends. You know, we got to have all the the random times at my parents' house hanging out and chilling with family, and like
our families lived 5 minutes away from each other. Like it was my parents, and then his parents lived 5 minutes down the street, and then his aunt, who is basically like a third party parent to us, she lived 10 minutes away from that. And so we were just in our own little bubble as a family. Well, it's funny that you say that was your favorite year, and my favorite year would be completely different. My favorite year of us being married would be the first year we moved here. I know, right?
Okay, no, I didn't think it was gonna be this year.
Yeah.
That was not my favorite year.
And I'm going to tell you why that was my favorite year, because yes, I had come out of a situation where I just shut the salon down. It had been like 8 months at that point that I shut the salon down. I just finished my cosmetology instructor's license. We had just moved here. We had been trying for another pregnancy, and we did not succeed, but we did once we moved here. And because of that pregnancy is when I found out that I have a blood disorder. Because of that blood disorder, my nose would bleed for 12 hours. Easily. And because that year was so trying and our families were back in Texas, we didn't have friends here. We were arm in arm together walking through this.
What's that, Nelly, that dirty ENT? We all we got. Yeah, that was it.
It was hard at that time. Trey was solidifying himself in the company because he had just moved here. Yeah. They transferred him to live here. And so it wasn't like he could take off time and help me with Jackson or coming off a 12-hour nosebleed. You're tired, you're anemic, you're sleeping, you still have to deal with a 2-year-old, you still have to take care of the house, you're delirious, you still have to cook and clean. And on top of that, Trey had to work, like he had to be away. But when he was home, he was super attentive. And I know it seems really gruesome and really like,
I did not like that.
But coming out of that year from always having family around us, always having help, and sometimes being too dependent.
Definitely being too dependent.
Being too dependent to all of a sudden being out here and standing on our own had to be my most memorable, my most favorite year of us in marriage.
I mean, if you think about it, so we're 31 this year. That was 3 years ago.
Right.
We didn't fully mature and grow up as parents until that year. And Jackson was 2.5. Yeah. I mean, like that was a very sobering year. It was a good year in the sense, like you said, because it was just us. Mm-hmm. And so we really got to strengthen and sharpen that bond between us, and only being able to really rely on each other.
Needless to say, aside from the illness, aside from the sickness, the diagnosis, that was that actual time of our marriage strengthening, of our parenting strengthening, of our trust in each other strengthening, happened that year. And it wasn't foggy like after Jackson year, but it was tough as in we all we got.
Exactly what that is.
And that was it. We all we got. So that has been my my favorite year. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about something that Trey is just like super stumped on, but I think that this is a really good topic to cover for our part 2, just because so many single people and married people have different opinions on what leadership and submission look like. And not everybody's definition is going to be the same.
I mean, even if the definition is the same, not their actual implementation of what it is definitely may not be the same.
It's not the same. Let's talk about the year that we were engaged and we were trying to structure through what leadership and submission look like.
So when we were told what leadership and submission was, like, I remember like when we were doing our marriage counseling, and he was like, oh, being the man of the household, like you're responsible for your wife's salvation. So any shortcomings in her actual salvation then falls on you. And I was like, wait, so she's a heathen. That's me being held accountable for on a spiritual level? No, I'm good. I ain't like that. But that's what leadership kind of means
in a Christian
marriage, in a Christian household. Now, implementing that, completely different story. I'd say up until maybe 3-4 years ago, maybe that. Very, very passive. I wouldn't try to initiate a lot of things. Like I kind of let you.
You still do? What? Let's be real.
I've gotten way more vocal and not demanding, but I've gotten I think that I've been able to. Hey, let me put some my ideas.
You can't even say this without laughing. Pause.
I'm still working on it. But when asked, like when you do ask me, hey, what do you think is best to run with on this? And I can give you an idea of what it is. In the past, it would have been like, I don't know what you want to do. Whatever you decide you want to do.
And that's a perfect point of what leadership and submission looks like, because he just said in the past he would have just gone with whatever I said, which would have placed the leadership ball into my court, and he would have just passively gone along with it. But leadership and submission in our relationship looks like I suggest something, he suggests something, and then we collaborate instead of me just taking the ball and running with it. And him just kind of toddling behind like a toddler, like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Just walking around. Okay.
I think submission for me meant that I had to control my tongue. Our whole engagement phase, I'm just so grateful for the mentors, the women and men who really went there with us, and especially the women who went there with me, to really just be like, hey, whatever you're saying or whatever you're doing is not honoring him. It's like just not being respectful. You wouldn't talk to your best friend like that. You wouldn't yell at your best friend like that. So why are you doing it to the man you're supposed to marry? And so in a way, that was submission for me, of just being like, okay, Sasha, you need to really take a step back and watch your mouth, watch your tone, watch where and when you say things. But also when we are talking about something and the ball is in the middle of our court, not just taking the ball and running with it and saying, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. Submission is saying, let's figure out a middle ground. If there is a middle ground, because sometimes there isn't a middle ground, and there's just going to have to be a disappointed person. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Yeah, that's what leadership and submission looks like. So it's not always saying, yes, sir, no, sir. We ain't doing that in this camp. But it is saying...
You're not going to bark like a dog.
Though that is my favorite part of that movie. This is what leadership and submission looks like in real life. And it doesn't always have to be a yes man and a no man and a yes ma'am and a no ma'am type of thing. It's just being considerate of one another and realizing in a Christian marriage what your role is according to what God considers your role is. So yeah, I really hope that kind of helped people in the sense of always feeling like maybe I can't be in a Christian marriage and
can't submit
and because it's y'all. Anyways, I hope that helped.
It's work though.
It is work.
It's work though.
It is work. I hope this segment has helped you guys. And if anything, I hope it was just a really good watch of some really good stories. If you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend if you think this will help, or if it's just a really good watch. And we'll be back again one last time for part 3, Sweet Talks with the Earnest.
Yeah, sweetie.
See y'all later.